jump over to wide receivers. But what I do want to this one, because Cody's been a little quiet. Listen, me and Cody have had this debate. Now I want Cody and Debro to have this debate. Okay, listen, me and you, Debro, are on the same boat here in terms of the Denver wide receivers. Right, I am higher on Courtland Sutton. I am much lower on Jerry Jeudy. I have Courtland Sutton at 17. I have Jeudy at 32. You have Sutton at 14, Jeudy at 27. Cody has Sutton at 23 and Jeudy at 13. So he is much higher on Jerry Jeudy than what we are. But Cody, floor is yours. Let's talk. You know, we've talked about it. Now you and Debro can talk this thing out with these two wide receivers.
Give me the scenario, man. I got to hear this case because I have a hard time seeing it.
So for me with Jeudy is you're looking at I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I think maybe second in target separation. It's like top 5 for sure. I think last year with quarterbacks that couldn't get him the ball. Now you're talking about Russell Wilson, who's been one of the most efficient quarterbacks we've seen in quite some time, one of the best deep ball throwers. And now you're going to have somebody who has the speed, the athleticism, and the route running prowess of Jerry Jeudy. I don't hate Courtland Sutton by any means. I think some of my pushback has stubbornly come whenever people have been talking about him as, ranking him as a top 10 guy the past couple of years and just kind of being stubborn and not moving off of that. But yeah, man, for me, I just see, kind of Tyler Lockett-ish type of, a similar type of game, and not to do that because I absolutely hated when people started doing, he's Tyler Lockett and Courtland Sutton's DK Metcalf. I hated that. It was the first thing that everybody did on Twitter whenever that first came out. But I think their games are similar, right? The ability to get downfield, route running, all of that. So I just see that as being more of a Russell Wilson type of guy than, and obviously, again, Russ Wilson, super efficient, very accurate. But I just see a guy that can get open like Jeudy being more of a Russell Wilson type guy than somebody like Courtland Sutton, who is a above the rim back shoulder. And he can, Russ is absolutely going to be able to do that and hit him in those instances. But I think Jeudy is going to be the one who is breaking the bigger plays. And that's just kind of how I see that working out.
I see it the opposite way. And I see that Nathaniel Hackett's going to walk in here and he's going to say, all right, Courtland Sutton was 6th in the NFL in deep targets last year. He had shit quarterback play and nobody could hit him deep. Okay? Let's just put you back in the deep role and let you win. And I think that the parallels to DK Metcalf are bad, except for the fact that if you look at how they win, there's some credence there in the sense that DK Metcalf is a freaking baller versus man coverage. Oh, look at that. Routes versus man. Courtland Sutton, 13th. He's a proof that he can win versus man coverage. And the thing that I think that we've kind of missed, at least in the fantasy industry, about Courtland Sutton is that kind of like with Cooper Kupp last year, and I am not putting Sutton on the Cooper Kupp type of trajectory, just breaking the model. But we saw Cooper Kupp before he went God mode last year. He was extremely efficient, extremely damn good. And then we saw him take a small dip, and then everybody gravitated to Robert Woods and said, oh, he's going to be better than Cooper Kupp. I feel like we're doing that with Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy in the sense that last year, Sutton was coming off an ACL. We do not see guys just come off of ACLs and hit the ground running and go back to being their absolute productive selves as they were previously. If you go back in time to when Sutton broke out with the shit can that is Drew Lock, he was top 10 in yards per route run. He was on his way to becoming one of the elite receivers in the NFL. All of his metrics screamed this. Then he got hurt. Then he had to play through bad quarterbacks last year and was coming off an ACL. Now we get him 2 years post ACL and he gets a quarterback upgrade. And he was the deep guy last year. And he gets the upgrade on the deep ball prowess, just like you talked about, Cody. If he owns the deep role just like he does last year, and the metrics come back to what he was prior to the injury, I just see him absolutely taking off and revisiting that type of efficiency that we saw him flash with horrible quarterback play, except he has a good quarterback now. And we haven't seen that type of efficiency in Jerry Jeudy's career. Like, if you look at his yards per route run and things other than, like, he's not been good. And so I think that we see Courtland Sutton just go back to the old stomping grounds. And I think the quarterback play is going to help himself a lot with Courtland Sutton. So we see it the opposite way, man. Like, I think that Sutton is that dude. I think that he showed us that he's that dude, and we still haven't seen that for Jerry Jeudy. So me projecting Jerry Jeudy being the number one in this offense is harder for me to see than seeing Courtland Sutton just go back to what we've already seen him do.